So in this video we're going to be finding the missing side, giving the similar triangles with a common vertex. Alright, so let's take a look at this example here. So we have common vertex here of DTE or UTV, right? So that's my common vertex. And I want to figure out what DT is. So DT is my unknown. Right, so that's what I'm looking for. So you can do this with corresponding sides or adjacent sides. And let's take a look at both examples. So if I take a look at the adjacent sides. So where are my adjacent sides? So my adjacent side here would be ET and DT. Those are my adjacent sides. And so we're going to set up a ratio of that first adjacent side first. So if I look at ET, so if I'm going with ET over, so ET over DT, this ratio of adjacent sides should equal the ratio of my next two adjacent sides. So before I plot my next two adjacent sides, they should be in the same manner. So ET and VT go together. So I'm going to just color coordinate that. So ET and VT are corresponding sides, and TD and UT are corresponding sides. So again, I'm doing this with the adjacent sides. So I did ET over TD or DT. And my next one is going to be VT. So VT is here. So this one's going to be here in green. And UT. So let's finish that. So VT and then UT. This would be adjacent sides proportions. So if I filled in, ET is 30, DT I'm going to call X, which is unknown, VT is 36, and UT is 24. So this proportion will help me solve for X. That's one way of doing this with adjacent sides. I could have also done this with corresponding sides. Right? I'm going to abbreviate corresponding. So adjacent sides, corresponding sides. So the corresponding sides here, ET corresponds to VT, and DT here in yellow corresponds to UT, which is under here. And if you fill in those numbers, ET is 30, VT is 36, DT is my unknown, and UT is 24. Either way you look at this, so if you're looking at your cross products here, you're going to get 36 times X and 36 times X. 30 times 24, 30 times 24. So the cross products will be exactly the same, so you're going to get the same answer no matter what. So before I take those cross products, I'm actually going to simplify this a little bit. So if I take either one of these, 30 over X, and before I take 36 over 24, I'm actually going to try to make the math a little easier here, and I can see that I can divide both these numbers here by 6, and this would actually give me 6 over 4, so I could actually divide again by 2, and this would give me 3 over 2. So I could have divided by 6 if I didn't see, I could divide by 12 right away. So really I have 30 over X equals 3 over 2. Now my math is a lot easier here. So if I did my cross products here, I would get 3X equals 30 times 2, which is 60, dividing both sides by 3, and X is equal to 20 units. Okay. You could have definitely used that. You could have also used the scale factor here. 30 times 10 will get me, 3 times 10 will get me to 30. That means 2 times 10 will get me to 20. So whatever way works there. Let's take a look at another example. So here's my two triangles, and they are similar, which is told. And I'm going to set up a corresponding or adjacent. It's up to you. I'm going to go with the corresponding on this one. So I'm going to start with CU. So I'm just going to highlight this for myself. So CU corresponds with WU. And if you're confused about that, you could actually use the diagram here, or the similarity chart. So I went with CU. So CU will correspond with VU. Oops, sorry. Let's get rid of that. So that's one way to make sure you don't make that mistake there. So CU corresponds with VU, and then DU corresponds with UW, and again, you can verify that way. So I went with DU, use the color there, the DU and WU. So if you happen to make a mistake there, you could always verify with the initial statement here and just matching up your letters there. So CU is 12, so CU should multiply over VU, which is my unknown here. And this should equal, again, it started with this triangle. This was the first triangle I started with. And I'm going to go with DU, which is 7, over WU, which is 14. I can see I can make life a little easier here. 12 over x equals, and 7 over 14 is 1 over 2. And this simple cross product is x equals 12 times 2, 24. So 24 units there. Alright, so even if you make that mistake, you could always use this chart here, or this labeling here, to help you figure out which ones are the corresponding sides. Let's take a look at one more. Let's make this one a little more challenging. So again, corresponding sides or adjacent. Let's go adjacent on this one. So I'm going to go with I'm going to go with triangle JUV here first. And I'm going to use JU, which is 8x plus 1, over JV, which is 39. So I went with my corresponding sides here. So JU and JV. So if I go back to my table here, JU, or my first two, that should correspond with JK. So when I set this equal to, I'm going to take JU and JK. JK is here at 55. So this one is here's JK, and then here's JV, which I'm going to be using next. And then, so we did UJ, and then VJ, or JK, and LJ or JL, either one of those. So first adjacents are done, 8x plus 1 over 39. So be careful. Now you have a choice to equal 55 or 65 or 65 or 55. I would use this diagram again. See the corresponding side, or the side length I want to use here. UJ corresponds to JK. So this should be 55 over, and that leaves you with 65. Let's make life a little easier. So we got 8x plus 1 over 39 equals, both of these are divisible by 5 here. This gives you 11 over 13. And now you can cross products and go from there. So you have 13 times 8x plus 1. I'm just joking. 13 times the quantity of 8x plus 1 equals, you got 39 times 11, which is 429. And then you can distribute 13, or you could divide by 13. If you notice that 13 goes into 429, and it actually does. 8x plus 1 equals 33. So a little hint here. 429, so I'm going to take this on a side note. 429 was the product of 39 times 11. So if I think about 39 times 11 and then divide this by 13, 39 is actually 13 times 3, and then times my 11. That's actually my numerator divided by 13. My 13s go away, leaving me with just 3 times 11, giving me my 33. Minus 1, minus 1. 8x equals 32. Divide both sides by 8, and x is equal to 4. 4 is not the length. 4 is just what x represents.